guys, welcome back. This is Nina. Like, share, and subscribe. I have been checking for this DMX story all week. I actually grew up listening to this. For all of you guys in your late 30s, early 40s, you know I'm talking about that banging party era around the time right after Tupac passed away, and then DMX, showed up and showed out for those 6 years. I just want to go back and say rest in peace, iconic legend. You will definitely be missed. And even if you guys saw the verses, he was literally, uh, him and Snoop doing verses several months ago. That verses is probably one of the highest ranked verses ever. And people are definitely demanding a replay of that to, show more love for DMX. I hope that it is replayed. I will definitely be watching for that. So, just to update you guys, DMX did pass away today. I know that there has been a lot of sketchy news that came out, and I thought the sketchy news should have actually been checked upon before it was published from not only his lawyer but a couple of other celebrities. But now this is according to TMZ. DMX did pass away a week after he suffered an overdose, and he literally had absolutely no brain function, and he was deprived of oxygen for almost 30 minutes following the fatal OD. His brain function never returned, and today, as of Thursday, his organs have actually slowly begun to fail. His kidneys, his liver, his lungs were completely failing while he was on life support in New York. Several of his closest family members, including his mother, fiance, ex-wife, and many of his kids were by his side when he passed away. His mother being the ultimate one that had to make the call to pull the plug. His family is deeply saddened to announce that DMX, whose birth name is Earl Simmons, did pass away at 50 years old at White Plains Hospital in New York with his close family by his side after being on life support for several days. Earl Simmons was a warrior who fought till the very end. Also, his family wants to say in a statement as it continued, he loved his family with all his heart, and they will cherish the times they spent with him. Earl's music inspired countless fans across the world, and his iconic legacy will live on forever. They appreciate all the love and support during this incredibly difficult time. Please respect the privacy as they begin to grieve the loss of a brother, father, uncle, and the man they knew as DMX. And they will share information publicly as his memorial service becomes finalized. So again, this is DMX and his family making a statement after his sudden departure from this world. To give you guys a little background, DMX got his start in music actually back in the 80s when he was performing with Ready Ron while simultaneously serving time behind bars until he finally decided to just go all out and do music full time in the 90s, where he eventually got signed to Columbia Records Rough House imprint and appeared on records with Jay-Z, LL, Mace, and even the rock band Sum 41. In 1998, he broke out when he released his Rough Rider debut studio album, Is Dark and Hell is Hot. It was a very critical and mainstream acclaim, and not to mention he added his new canine persona, and you guys can definitely go on YouTube and find all his videos. He was definitely a legend. When I got my first car, it was quite a hoopty, and I mean, I kid you not, I'm like in my early 20s just like listening to this. So I'm just going to keep going. He's known for hits such as Get At Me Dog, How's It Going Down, Stop Being Greedy, and his probably best known track, the Rough Riders Anthem, which became the song to get everybody hyped up in the party, which is really true. I love that song. Rough Riders has gone down in history as one of the greatest hip hop songs ever, and it ended up making the Billboard's Hot 100 chart. Back then, you often did not see rappers even on the Hot 100's chart as much as other genres. He quickly followed up that first success with his second album in the same year, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, came out in December of 1998 and ended up being a number one hit. At the time, he was the second rapper to release back-to-back albums in the first year, the first being Tupac. At that point, DMX had cemented his sound with his abrasive, rough and edgy voice, but also catchy and great for parties and getting hyped up. His third album hit that last point with his single, Party Up, Up in Here. Another one of X's notorious songs that helped him get major play on the radio, in clubs, and also movies. Now, for all of you movie buffs, he made his film debut in the 2000s, which he was in Romeo Must Die with Aaliyah, the late great Aaliyah, which also starred Jet Li. Then he was in other flicks such as Exit Wounds, Cradle to the Grave, Never Die Alone, Last Hour, and Belly. But he also was involved in several legal battles back then with lawsuits, and this kind of took over that time. And then as the years passed, with several charges including for weapons, drugs, DUIs, and later tax evasion, he served some time for those cases, but always continued his music career. He struggled with the law continuously, but cranked out hit after hit, and then one of his most memorable, X Gon' Give It To You, Where the Hood At, and Lord Give Me a Sign, as well as We In Here. And then, a few years ago in 2019, after serving a 12-month sentence for tax evasion, where it seemed like some of his previous battles were behind him, and he had finally did his last stint in rehab. Afterwards, it did seem like he was doing better. He made a return to stage in December of 2019 at Hassan in Las Vegas. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He talked to fans and took pictures before he took the stage. Everything seemed fine. And then, he also made a funny Christmas song, freestyled his own way, for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in 2012, if you want to check that out. And then, of course, in July of 2020, fans worldwide got to see DMX and Snoop Dogg face off in the Versus battle with 500,000 people watching live on Instagram. The rappers really had fun with their hits. They complimented each other. They were dancing, sharing now and laters, drinking Kool-Aid. It was just something. So DMX, rest his soul, lived a long and hard life. He did have a very early, sad life, but he managed to overcome that. However, he just couldn't overcome some of his other demons. And he was truly loved. He's a legendary rap icon. He will definitely be missed. And he is survived by 15 children, as well as his fiancée, Desiree Lindstrom. And me personally, I will definitely say, growing up, having Tupac, and then unfortunately right after Tupac passed away, we soon after got DMX. It was nothing like being back then, listening to that music and driving around in my hoopty. I just want to say to his family, friends, and everybody else that is probably going to be in mourning with me over the weekend, be blessed, stay safe, and just let your kids, your family, your sisters, your brothers, tell everybody you love them this weekend. Call everybody. Even if you're not on speaking terms, just say something nice. You never know when it's your time to go, and sometimes that time can be cut short sooner than later. So please, Everybody, love you all. Subscribe. Be safe until next time. Bye, guys.